Hello guys, welcome to Legacy Vault. Today, we're talking about a man who became much more than a boxer. He was a world champion, a fearless speaker, and one of the most influential athletes in history. This is the incredible story of Muhammad Ali, the man known around the world as the greatest. From a young boy in Kentucky to a global icon admired by millions, Ali's journey was filled with victory, controversy, sacrifice, and inspiration. His fights changed boxing forever, and his voice changed the way many people viewed sports, race, and courage. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the unforgettable life of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was born as Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. on January 17, 1942, in Louisville, Kentucky. He grew up during a time when racial segregation still existed in America. Life was difficult for many African American families, and Ali experienced discrimination from an early age. But even as a child, he stood out because of his confidence and energy. The story of how he started boxing became famous around the world. When Ali was only 12 years old, someone stole his bicycle. Angry and upset, he told a local police officer that he wanted to fight the thief. That officer, Joe Martin, happened to train young boxers. Before teaching him how to fight, Martin reportedly told him, "You better learn how to box first." Ali quickly fell in love with the sport. He trained constantly and began winning amateur competitions across the country. Coaches noticed that he moved differently from other fighters. He was faster, more athletic, and unusually confident. Even as a teenager, Ali constantly told people, "I am the greatest." At first, people laughed at him. But Ali believed in himself long before the rest of the world did. In 1960, Ali represented the United States at the Olympic Games in Rome. At only 18 years old, he impressed audiences with his speed, movement, and skill. Unlike traditional heavyweight fighters who relied mostly on power, Ali moved gracefully around the ring. His footwork looked almost like dancing. He won the gold medal in the light heavyweight division and returned home as an Olympic champion. Soon afterward, he turned professional. Fight after fight, Ali defeated opponents while entertaining audiences with his bold personality. He often predicted the exact round in which he would win. Some people loved his confidence. Others thought he talked too much. But no one could ignore him. Then came the biggest challenge of his early career, heavyweight champion Sonny Liston. Liston was considered terrifying. Many experts predicted Ali would be destroyed. But on February 25, 1964, Ali shocked the world by defeating Liston and becoming heavyweight champion at just 22 years old. After the fight, he famously shouted, "I shook up the world." And he truly had. Shortly after winning the title, he announced he had joined the Nation of Islam and changed his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali. The decision created major headlines and controversy across America. But Ali insisted that Muhammad Ali was his true name, and he proudly carried it for the rest of his life. At the peak of his boxing career, Ali faced the most difficult decision of his life. During the Vietnam War, the United States government drafted him into military service. Ali refused to go. He explained that his religious beliefs and moral principles would not allow him to participate in the war. His words became historic. "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong." The backlash was immediate and severe. Ali was stripped of his heavyweight championship and banned from boxing. For more than 3 years, he could not compete professionally. These were years that should have been the prime of his athletic career. Many people criticized him harshly and called him unpatriotic. But Ali refused to change his beliefs even though it cost him millions of dollars and nearly destroyed his career. Over time, public opinion slowly changed. Many people began admiring his courage and willingness to sacrifice everything for what he believed was right. Eventually, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned his conviction, and Ali was finally allowed to return to boxing. Ali's return to boxing created some of the most legendary fights in sports history. One of his greatest rivals was Joe Frazier. Their rivalry was intense, emotional, and deeply personal. In 1971, they fought in what became known as the fight of the century. It was one of the biggest sporting events ever at the time. Ali lost the match, but the rivalry continued for years and produced unforgettable moments. Then came perhaps the most famous fight of Ali's career, the Rumble in the Jungle against George Foreman in 1974. Foreman was younger, stronger, and considered unbeatable. Almost everyone expected Ali to lose. But Ali used intelligence instead of pure strength. He leaned against the ropes and allowed Foreman to exhaust himself by throwing endless punches. The strategy later became famous as the rope-a-dope. Then, in the 8th round, Ali suddenly attacked and knocked Foreman out. The world was stunned. Ali had reclaimed the heavyweight championship in one of the greatest upsets in boxing history. The following year, Ali fought Joe Frazier again in the brutal Thrilla in Manila. The fight was incredibly exhausting for both men and is still considered one of the greatest boxing matches ever. By the mid-1970s, Muhammad Ali was no longer simply an athlete. He had become a global icon. In the later years of his life, Ali began suffering from health problems. In 1984, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a condition that affected his movement and speech. Even while battling illness, Ali remained an inspiration to millions. He traveled around the world doing charity work, meeting fans, and supporting humanitarian causes. One of the most emotional moments of his later life came during the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta. Despite visibly shaking from Parkinson's disease, Ali stood proudly and lit the Olympic torch in front of millions of viewers worldwide. The moment became one of the most memorable scenes in Olympic history. Muhammad Ali passed away on June 3, 2016, at the age of 74. But his impact never disappeared. He changed boxing forever with his speed, confidence, and charisma. And outside the ring, he inspired generations by standing up for his beliefs and speaking without fear. Muhammad Ali once said, "Impossible is temporary." That quote perfectly describes his life. A young boy whose bicycle was stolen grew up to be.
Why don't you call me my name, man?
Well, what's your name? You told me your name was Cassius Clay a few
I
years
never
ago.
told you my name was Cassius Clay. My name is Muhammad Ali, and you will announce it right there in the center of that ring after the fight if you don't do it now. That's my man. Oh, yeah.